Morning, and welcome to viewers new and old. And this is my Take a Hike vlog number 7, I think it is, for April 2021. Running out of fingers now, I'll have to start writing the numbers down. So, been a busy month and there's so many things to talk about. So where do I start? So, most of the United Kingdom is now more or less out of the lockdown, or certainly the parts of us that allow us to get out in the countryside and enjoy it and stay overnight. And that was accompanied by a lot of hand-wringing on social media about the results of that subsequent rush to get back out there, and people out there who might not know how to look after the countryside. And you know, I don't exclude myself from that. It has been a concern for me, but it's kind of led to a bit of a chain reaction, and I just want to kind of unpick that, because it's not quite as simple as it seems on the surface, in my humble opinion. I'm just out for a bit of a walk in East Cheshire, heading up from Poynton up into Lyme Park and out onto the moors behind and round. I've done a walk of this area before, a little bit shaky because it was done on my phone, but I'll put a link into it afterwards if anybody fancies exploring up here. It's definitely a walk from my childhood. I love it up here. So the first phase meant that you could get out, certainly down in England that was the case. It meant that you could get out a little bit further and go walking, and you know, predictably there was a bit of a surge of people in the countryside. Largely I managed to work around that, either by going to quieter places, or by starting early, or by going on walks midweek. But even when I've been in some of the most attractive and sometimes busy beauty spots of our area, I haven't noticed any increase in litter whatsoever. In fact, I think it's possibly been even a little bit better than usual. So clearly the message that people need to look after their surroundings, it's I don't know, maybe I'm being over optimistic, but it seems to be getting out to some people. It's down to Lyme Hall, built by the Romans in 1066. Might have been. A couple of weeks later, we were allowed out to stay overnight again, and seemingly that's where the friction has started. Now, hope you can hear this okay. Whether we like it or not, here in the UK, the land is owned by a handful of people, and wild camping is actively allowed in only a very few areas, and in some other areas at best it's tolerated. Now there's no getting away from that. You know, you can say that the land was given to those people for, you know, giving their daughters and sisters off in marriage, or for killing people who don't agree with our religion or whatever. Regardless, it's still a fact, and you can see my grasp of history is probably a little bit simplistic, and it's meant in humour, but that's the way it is. Now, this is where it gets a bit complicated, because some of those landowners, let's say, and there's a lot of game shooting that goes on, so some of the gamekeepers have been reportedly clearing people off the land whilst they're peacefully wild camping. And I can see the other side. I can see that that's the way they make money on these estates, and there have been incidents of damage and fire. But there's always, every year there's incidents of damage and fire. One particular one this year seems to have been attributed to people setting off fireworks up on the moors. Well, you know, that isn't campers. But then it's still not as simple as that, because there's people amongst, well, call it the camping fraternity, but they don't even seem to be obeying the basic prerequisites of wild camping, to keep stealthy and to be inobtrusive. And quite frankly, you know, you're always going to get turned away or cleared off if you camp in beauty spots next to the road. And you know, I've actually seen videos of that this week. So it's a complex situation, but clearly one which the landowners have been waiting for, because they're clearly they're clearing people off who are absolutely causing no trouble, leaving no trace, not causing any harm. So it's almost as though they've been waiting for this as an opportunity. So other than moan about the situation, what is there that we can do about it? Well, personally, I think time will help, and things will settle down a little bit as the rush dies down, and maybe some casual or fly campers will get discouraged from doing what they do. Will it stop me wild camping? Absolutely not. Without going into the politics of it, I have quite strong views about some of the stuff I said earlier, humour aside. But I think what I will be doing is paying even more attention to stealth, paying more attention to not sharing the places that I stay over, which is a shame really, because, you know, there's always good people, you know, young people coming along who, you know, doesn't do any harm to give a helping hand to, really. So it's a shame that that suffers for the acts of a few idiots, really. And other than that, keep sharing the message of leave no trace, and where possible, clear up after other people where they have left a mess. Granted, it's not always possible, but that's what we're doing. We're kind of not giving people an excuse to clamp down on something that they probably don't want anyway. It's not that the majority of the wild camping community who have a deep affinity for the countryside are doing anything harmful. But yeah, I'll kind of leave it there. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it. So, what else is going on? Well, by the time you get to watch this, I'll probably be away for the First bank holiday weekend of the year up in the Derbyshire Dales, doing a bit of van camp on a nice site near Yulegrave, so hopefully get a couple of nice little walks out of that. Not going to be going mad. It's a bit of a chill out weekend hopefully, so fingers crossed the weather's not too bad. It's not looking too great in the long range forecast, and I've had some belting hikes this month. Black Hill, Alport Castle's been two outstanding ones, really excellent, and as you may have seen, I managed to fit my first wild camp in, which went well. I won't tell you where it was, although anybody from the area can probably pin it down from the video. Getting breezy up here. Some nice ancient quarrying scars on the landscape round here. Next month, obviously whatever footage I get from our weekend away in the Dales, but yeah, I'm hoping to maybe get another wild camp in, and as always some good hiking footage. On the perennial subject of the travails with the GoPro, as you might have seen from the Alport Castles video, my theory about the camera bleeps and paying particular attention to what the camera's doing seems to have been a partial success, but nope, still having problems. So still waiting for any news of another firmware update from our friends at GoPro. It's been a while now, so hopefully they're working on something big. Other than that, I'm trying formatting the card outside the camera. I got hold of a little card reader. I think Michelle from Out and About in Scotland, hi Michelle, said that that seems to work for her most of the time with reducing the problems, so too early to say yet, and clearly every time I say I've fixed it, it comes back to bite me on the backside, so I'll test it for a bit longer this time. So tramping across the moors up above Lyme Park with the skyline of Manchester spread out far behind me. I think I'll wrap it up there, and yeah, I'll just say leave no trace, keep your head down and continue to enjoy the countryside. All the best, folks.